you had been a coach. You were quite a well-known coach. You'd coached at Tennessee, you'd coached at Mississippi, you'd coached at Notre Dame. And then came the day when you had the question come up, what about coaching at Duke? And I would just be interested if you would just tell us frankly, well, let's put it this way, it wasn't an offer you couldn't refuse. So when you were offered the job, you had to figure out, how am I going to make something happen that hasn't happened here? So what was it like to think about the decision to come to Duke?
Well, as you know, they had offered to fly a plane to get me, and I opted for driving my pickup truck. And I drove over for that very reason. I needed to think a little bit more before I arrived, and I'd never been to Duke, and I got there in the middle of the night. The theme for me was people. And not to embarrass you, but I had an incredible visit with you. We visited as old friends, more than an interview. And I saw that your ideals and what you thought was important was the things that were important to me. I had a conversation with, I think, the greatest coach regarding of any sport in the history of sport, and that's Mike Krzyzewski. And it was very meaningful to me. And yeah, round of applause for Coach K. And I don't even think that's arguable. He is the greatest coach in the history of sport. And he said things that struck home to me as well. And then I met a player and who I still love deeply. And the only player I met that day was Vinny Ray. Vincent Ray. And if you haven't had the pleasure, Vinny now plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. And to tell you how bought in we are, and Connor's here somewhere, he'll get a kick out of this.
Is he really?
Vinny won't care. Vinny sent me a couple of weeks ago a video of him proposing to his girlfriend just after he had done it. And I said, Vinny, this is awesome. You know, and he was in Cincinnati, and that tells you about the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. And I'm going to say this, you know, it takes a lot of people to pull a wagon known as college football. It's huge. And without you and your willingness to believe in us so deeply and be so supportive, we wouldn't have done this without Dick Brodhead. I can promise you
come on, you had a lot of...
That's the truth.